What's going on, guys? Thursday Night Football once again tonight, so I'm previewing tonight's matchup. And we have a hell of a game to watch tonight, a great matchup. NFC West battle for the top of the division, the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. I've been looking forward to this matchup now for a while. Both of these teams are predicated on their great defenses. The Niners are known for their front seven, and the Seahawks have a very good secondary. But both of these teams surprised people last week, I would say. Last week, the Niners were going against the New York Giants, a rematch of the NFC Championship game last year. And the Giants came out and just dominated, flat out dominated the San Francisco 49ers on the road in Candlestick. And that was a game where the Niners should have been a lot more ready to play. And the Giants, though, they were the underdogs in that game for the second time now. And they come through and get the victory once again. Whereas in Seattle now, the Seahawks were playing against the Patriots. And they got not a last second, but a late touchdown pass from Russell Wilson to Sidney Rice to get the game sealed for them. But these two teams clash tonight, and the winner of this game will be the new leader in the NFC West. Now that's because also the Cardinals don't play until Sunday against the Vikings, and they're also a 4-2 team. But these are the two teams that are widely regarded as the best two teams in this division. And so I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a great defensive matchup. I mean, we're always talking about nowadays how the NFL is a passing league. You have to have a passing quarterback and a bunch of weapons on offense. You have to run the spread basically and just throw the ball all over the field. But these two teams, they keep it much simpler. They play good defense, they stop the run, they run the football, and they'll manage you with their game managing quarterbacks that just don't make mistakes and just do enough to help get the victory. Now, last week the Niners proved something for the second time this season. They are not a team that is built to play from behind. They have to get an early lead, otherwise they get themselves sunk into a big hole because their team is not leaning towards a passing offense, obviously. They run the football with Frank Gore, and it didn't work against the Giants last week, and so that's going to be the main focus for the Seahawks. Whichever team, I think, the team that gets off to the fastest start could be the team that ends up with this victory. And I do not expect a lot of points this week. I mean, both these teams have some good weapons on offense, but the quarterbacks just aren't gunslingers, and they're just there basically to manage a football game. And in a game that I expect to be very tight and defensively focused, you can't afford to have turnovers, especially turnovers within your own side of the field. And so Alex Smith had 3 interceptions last week, but that's because they were reliant on the passing game when they were down by a bunch of scores after the Giants took their lead. And so when you compare these two teams, they are very similar in the style that they like to play, obviously. I've touched on this a little bit, but it's going to be Marshawn Lynch versus Frank Gore. Which one of those guys is going to have more success today? Those guys are going to be needed today to pound the ball, to move the chains, and to keep drives moving, and to get field goals and maybe touchdowns if they can get deep into the red zone. I don't expect a lot of big plays in the offensive game, but that also leaves a hole open because not a lot of people are going to be expecting it. Maybe the Seahawks come out first play and throw a bomb to Sidney Rice and try to get a big play. And I can see the Seahawks coming out with Pete Carroll having a very aggressive approach, trying to get an early lead to build on and have this defense carry them the rest of the way if they can. But it's just going to be a great matchup, I think. I'm excited for it. I mean, I think this game is definitely big in the sense that it's a divisional matchup, but I think if the Niners lose this game, though, it's going to be very, very bad for them because the Vikings game was considered a wake-up call. Can you really consider at 4-2 losing that game last week to the Giants, a game they should have been ready for, a game that they had incentive to be ready for and to get revenge against the Giants? I can't call that game a wake-up call by any means. But what that loss does is it makes tonight's game a gut check for the San Francisco 49ers. They need to come out tonight and play a lot better game of football and be a lot more dominant on the offensive side of the ball with their running game, and that's going to control the pace of this game, I think. And so the Niners have to focus on getting the running game established and getting the passing game going with Vernon Davis, who is definitely their best offensive threat in the passing game. And for the Seahawks, they can't get cocky from last week's game. I know Richard Sherman and all the running his mouth he did, but this team is a good team. Both these teams are good teams. But I want to see which team runs the football the best and which quarterback manages the game the best. My main concern for the Seahawks is maybe they come out a little bit too cocky and the Niners are ready for them when they get a good lead on them early and they don't bounce back. But also, Russell Wilson's looked good in late in games. I mean, you can look at that Packer game and say it wasn't legit, but Russell Wilson himself has played good in the end of games. I mean, even week 1 against Arizona, remember, he had them in a position to win that game, and his receivers did not bail him out at all in the end zone. They dropped passes. Braylon Edwards dropped a pass in the end zone. And so if this game is close and it's late in the game and Russell Wilson has the football, I don't doubt the Seahawks can get a victory in this one. But I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers this week to bounce back against the Seahawks. I think they're going to bring some pressure at Russell Wilson and they're going to make life a little bit more difficult on the first-year quarterback. And so this game is probably going to come down to the tough defenses, of course, but running the football, who has the most success and who can churn out the most first downs, and which team keeps their defense off the field the most, and then which team can win the turnover differential and the turnover battle, because they can't afford to have turnovers in a game like this. The defenses are too good for them to come back from big deficits, and so I'm looking forward to this game, but I'm taking San Francisco at home to get the victory, 24-19 in a very good defensive fight. But I can see the Seahawks winning this game definitely, especially if it's Russell Wilson late in the game. With the way that he's been playing late in games, I think they have a very good chance, but we'll see, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this Thursday Night Football matchup, and also thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.